Julius Randle over the past 4 seasons has turned himself into an all-star caliber player, but how exactly will his game fit with the Minnesota Timberwolves? Can he find a way to coexist with Anthony Edwards and elevate the Timberwolves offense? Or will his limited floor spacing and heavy on-ball usage make him a clunky overall fit? In this video, we're going to try to answer that question by doing a deep dive on the film. Now, when looking at Randle's offensive game, I think he does his best individual work attacking the basket. Where at 6'8", 250, and possessing really good quickness, he's a walking mismatch on the perimeter. When playing downhill, Randle is one of the most physical drivers in the NBA, where he loves to seek out contact and bully his way to the basket like an older sibling.
It was a 2-point game.
Right here, it's just him and Jimmy Butler playing one-on-one. And Julius from this spot isn't going to do anything super advanced with the ball. He's just going to lower his inside shoulder and carve out this driving path to his strong left hand. Randle at times also has the same effect when matched up with opposing teams' 4s and 5s, where again, he's got the physicality to move them off their spot, creating clear scoring windows.
We'll try to back down Portis.
Now, if Randle's going up against length in the deep paint, he's also great at attacking the shot blocker's body to then muscle up these finishes. We'll see him here turn the corner off the screen to his right to then push the ball to his left hand. And watch how he's going to gather the ball up and step into that contact to move the shot blocker underneath the basket. Now, if the defense is able to move their feet and stay in front of Randle's initial attack, he's also got a variety of pivots and step-throughs in his bag. One of his go-tos is simply driving hard to his right to then stop and pivot hard back over to his left. And there's no real fat or flash to these moves. It's simply just Julius attacking hard to his spots, then getting to these strong step-throughs. Now, what really ties everything together is Randle's speed and ball handling on the perimeter, where Julius both has the ball on a string while also having the body control to shift his weight from side to side. And this perfectly translates over to his scoring and pick and roll, where on top of his physicality, Julius can also navigate off these screens like a crafty undersized point guard, being able to snake these picks, put his man in jail, or play with pace to create more attacking angles. So that blend of physicality, quickness, and on-ball skill makes Randle really tough to guard in open space. If you put a quicker backcourt or wing defender on him, Julius is going to most likely have the physicality to play bully ball. But if you put a lumbering 4 or 5 man on him, Randle is going to most likely have the quickness and ball skills to cook them on the perimeter. Now, obviously all these skills are great, but the question is, how is all this going to translate over in Minnesota? Because with the way their team is built right now, floor spacing may be an issue for them in the half court. Rudy Gobert is obviously a non-shooter, and we did see teams leave Jaden McDaniels alone on the perimeter in last year's playoffs. So next year, there's going to be some added pressure on Randle's perimeter scoring, which has been pretty inconsistent over the last few years. Now, to start off with the positives, I do think Julius has the tools to effectively generate shots off the dribble, where his blend of strength and ball handling allows him to easily create space off the bounce. Similar to his downhill scoring, there's no nonsense in Randle's in-between game. Everything comes back to him driving through the defense's frame with these tight attacking angles to then bump and create space. We'll see him here pushing the ball in semi-transition, and watch him simply bring the ball through and drive right through Booker's chest. And once Randle works his way down to this 10 to 12 foot area, all he has to do is create some additional contact to rise up. We can see the same thing here, where Randle is going to get to the straight line drive to his right, and notice how he's going to get this defender flying back with a shoulder bump, to then drift back for this jerk fade. Now, if the defense is stable and absorb Randle's contact off the dribble, Julius will also use an additional shoulder bump after picking up. One of his favorite combinations after gathering is first lifting the defense up with a shot fake, initiate contact with that shoulder, to then drift back for this 1-foot fade. And Julius gets separation off this move pretty much every time.
Randle falling away. Counted and a foul.
Notice here how the defense eats this contact and is right in Randle's face as he pivots out. But Julius is going to again get to his shot fake, initiate more contact, and drift out into this fadeaway. When playing with his back to the basket, Julius also likes to use some different shoulder fakes. Plus, he has a variety of step backs in his bag when facing up. So the point is, Randle clearly has the depth in his game to create these in-between pull-ups at will. But the issue is his accuracy hasn't always been great. Last year, Julius shot under 40% on all his mid-range pull-ups. And in order to justify taking these type of looks in high volume, Randle's efficiency does have to take a pretty significant jump. And I also feel the same way about his 3-point shooting. Again, Julius has the game and skill set to create these pull-up threes at will, by both leveraging his driving game to push the defense back, while creating additional space with the variety of stepbacks. But Randle last year shot 26% on all his pull-up threes. So this does beg the question of what exactly is Randle's role going to be next year? If the Timberwolves' lack of floor spacing is going to limit his paint scoring, and Randle's inefficient shooting off the dribble doesn't justify him taking those type of looks in high volume, where exactly is his offense going to come from? Now off the ball, I think Randle can do plenty of damage as a screener and cutter, because Julius already possesses really good speed, and that naturally gives him the physical tools to be an effective mover off the ball. You'll see Drew Holiday here step up in gap to deny the ball, but Randle's going to dust him with this backdoor cut. And on top of that, Julius also has a really good basketball feel, where he's great at reading the off-ball defense and finding open space to cut into. Watch him here read Giannis sink down to help on the roll man, and instead of spotting up behind the three, Randle's going to cut down and get this layup at the rim. Now these are looks Julius can commonly find in the flow of the game, because the ball is going to be in Mike Conley and Ant's hands for a majority of half-court possessions, and these are always shots Randle can generate in the flow of the game. I also see the Timberwolves using Julius a lot as a screener or handoff hub, where he's got the tools to do some really good work rolling towards the basket, plus he can play off the scoring gravity of Edwards, and we already saw this work very effectively with Jalen Brunson. You'll see Randle here catch and set himself up for this handoff with Brunson, and when two commit to the ball, Randle has plenty of airspace to charge downhill.
It's been all OKC as Randle out of
on the perimeter, I also think Randle can do some decent work as a spot-up shooter. Now he did shoot just over 34% on all his catch and shoot threes last year, but he's shown in previous seasons that he's capable of pulling those numbers up. And if Randle this year can shoot in the high 30s or low 40s on all his spot-up threes, that's obviously going to be huge for Minnesota's offense. First, because that's going to bring some much needed floor spacing, but second, that's also going to make it easier for Randle to create more downhill drives, which at the end of the day is the best part of his game. And Randle does have elite tools when attacking scrambles off the catch. Like we went over, he's already got really good strength and speed with the ball, but he's also great at feeling the defense's momentum and creating clean blow-bys off the catch. Watch him here read this defender closing out across his left side. So Julius in response is going to rip into his gravity, creating this clear driving line. I love this read here, where instead of hovering around the three, Randle's going to blast towards the ball, picking up ahead of steam to attack right through this pass. So while Randle may not be the caliber of shooter that Karl Anthony Towns is, I still think he can provide plenty of off-ball value with his screening and cutting. Plus, he also has the on-ball skills to create shots from all three levels if need be. And Julius has also shown in the past that he has the ability to be an above-average spot-up shooter. I think Randle on paper may initially be an awkward fit for Minnesota, but he does have the versatility in his game to figure it out as the season goes on. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think of Julius Randle's game. The kid's here.